Okay, so this series has definitely changed and made an impact on my life. For better or for worse, that's up to my liver to decide. A series with a unique topic that I can guarantee you've never been interested in before unless you're French, as well as having the addictive elements within it. And that series is Drops of God. This series may sound familiar to you as I helped script Garnt, aka Giguk's manga video, and this series was included. However, I wanted to make my own video on it because it's such a good series and I really love it. Drops of God is a manga that centers around our main lead, Shizuku, whose famous wine critic father died, leaving behind a will saying that if he can guess the name of 12 different types of wine that the father labeled the Drops of God, after having a sip of them, he can inherit his 2 billion yen wine collection and their fortune. But he's competing with his adoptive brother, who's also a famous wine critic, to get their fortune. Drops of God is a series revolving around wine and the complexity of it. And I am so impressionable that I was so obsessed with wine for a while that even I tried to be a sommelier. And for all of you uncultured swines out there, a sommelier is someone who studies wine and figures out what type of wine goes with what dish to make it umami. I mean, a job where I'm paid to drink and know about wine, that's fucking heaven. Before reading Drops of God, I used to be one of those people who just didn't really care about wine, used to think every wine tasted the same, but after reading it and hearing how beautiful and wonderful they made each wine sound, it's hard to ever look at it the same way again. And I'm not the only one who felt this way, because when this series was released, Japan went wine crazy trying to find every wine described in this series at any cost. One of the things that makes this series so interesting is the adventure we get to take with our lead character through wine. There are so many complexities of wine. I used to think that people who swirled it and sniffed it and just got the most expensive bottle were just uppity rich people trying to show off their uppity rich wealth. But I was wrong! We get to see that wine isn't adult-defined grape juice, but something that can make you taste an indescribable taste that can make you see beautiful things. Things like paintings, music, scenery. Drops of God lets us explore each taste of each wine as he goes to try and find the 12 tastes of the apostles. Hearing his description of each and every wine you taste is already a hidden gem that pulls you in and makes you crave something that'll make you feel like you're at a Queen's concert in the 70s, which, for some reason, I guess wine can do. The name Drops of God fits this series so well, as it makes each wine described sound like a feeling you can't get. The name Drops of God fits this series so well, as it makes each wine sound like it provokes feelings in you that you can't get anywhere else. But that's not the only intriguing thing about this series. There's actually quite a variety. Through Drops of God, we learn about the many different types of wine, the cost, and how even the cheapest wine can be more superior than its overpriced predecessors. But that's not the only amazing thing about it. We get to see our main character grow from a bitter, immature kid into a well-rounded adult who sees things from a brighter perspective as he overcomes his hate that he initially felt for his father, while he also learns about his father's past with wine. Being able to see Shizuku's adventures as he meets new people, creates new bonds, and tries the most intricate of wines is what makes this series so hard not to love. It also feels so satisfying when the main lead gets into troublesome situations but uses his abundance of wine knowledge to get out of him. Like in the beginning when he sees a famous, rare, expensive bottle of wine break that was initially needed to further a business deal, he uses his keen sense of smell to find a replacement, and after rigorously searching and encountering trial after trial to obtain it, he does, and when he does, we get to see a 15-year misunderstanding come unraveled in an ongoing love story. And seeing him obtain that is so rewarding. And the first volume is one of the most pleasing, as our character, who's presumably the underdog as he doesn't have much experience drinking wine or studying it, rises up quickly and defeats all expectations. And I mean, come on! Who doesn't love a good underdog story? Another thing that makes Drops of God so unique is that you can never guess the outcome of each chapter, and you can never guess who is going to win the taste section of when they're trying to find the 12 apostles. And knowing that makes each meeting that he has with his brother in order to find and taste the 12 apostles even more more suspenseful because you're never 100% certain he's going to win. The only thing that really upsets me about this series is that out of the original 44 volumes that were initially created, only 4 volumes were English translated. However, weirdly enough, they decided to translate one volume that's 20 volumes after their 4th volume that does it in the middle of the battle that I don't understand. It doesn't really make sense. They called this manga Drops of God New World, when in reality, it's just Drops of God, the 23rd volume. But of the few volumes I have been fortunate enough to read and indulge myself in, have been amazing. And although I will probably never be able to finish this series because Lord knows I don't know that many complicated kanji, I am still so grateful I got to know of its existence. And also, I know this video wasn't really humorous and it was just me kind of talking about this amazing series, and that's because I am just really passionate about how great this series is. And if you are of age, I think you will be too. Here's to me hoping I'm not promoting underage drinking. If you are looking for an amazing series that throws you into a world you never knew, I highly recommend that you pick up Drops of God. Luckily, I was able to find the series on my all-time favorite manga website, Bookwalker. If you are interested in reading this manga, which you should be, please make an account and use coupon code SIDSNAP for 600 yen off your first purchase. That's like $1 for a book, which is a pretty amazing deal for a manga volume that has 427 pages. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I feel like kind of right now that no matter how much I write about this series, I'm not doing it proper justice because I love it so much. I'm scared I didn't do it well enough, and you have to go read it. That's all. Just go read it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to follow me on all of my other social medias. And you know what? Please comment as well if you also have a manga series that you are really passionate about that you wouldn't mind if I read, because I fucking love manga, and any new series that I can get my greedy little mitts on would be a treat for me. But, yep, thank you guys again, and bye. The manga centers around our main lead, Shizuku, whose father was a famous wine critic, died, and left a will saying, "fuck me in the butthole."